Within the first 90 days of starting Fisheye, I'd produced over 100 videos. The starting was the hardest part because I was working full-time in Sydney, I was living week to week. I didn't have a lot of money to, either purchase equipment to start things off, like my own equipment, or to, go out and afford rent and everything like that. It was this moment where I really just had to go all in. I had to really back myself and take a chance on myself. It was really exciting, but it was also really stressful at the time. Things had to happen for me. They had to sort of happen overnight so I could afford rent, I could afford, paying my equipment. So yeah, it was this really exciting moment, but yeah, I was just hoping things went well. So I really wanted to bring fresh, modern content to Newcastle that was focused for digital platforms. I was fixated on this idea that corporate content shouldn't have to feel corporate. I got to the point where later on I even banned the use of the word corporate in the office. Obviously, we wanted to push the envelope for content. A space I really saw that needed it in Newcastle specifically was real estate. A handful of real estate agents took a gamble on me, really gave me that first shot. From there, the content spoke for itself. We certainly weren't the first in the industry to create content for real estate in Newcastle. We won't be the last, but we certainly had the biggest impact. As with any new business, when the pressure's on to make things work, you obviously have to hustle pretty hard. 16-hour days weren't uncommon. I'd sometimes be shooting 5 property videos a day. I'd get home and then I'd edit through the night. One point I had a friend coming over after hours. They were working full-time as well, but I was just giving them cash. I was just saying, hey, can you come over, come to my place? We're just gonna edit videos through the night. At the time, I was doing 2 business day turnarounds for real estate content, so it was pretty hectic. The pressure was on. It was obviously a crazy time, and I realized I needed someone. Wanted to keep this up. It wasn't healthy. I needed help. I still wanted to grow. I had that vision there for an agency, and that's when I met Nick. After about 3 months of Nick showing up to my apartment every day, walking through my kitchen, into my second bedroom that had been converted into an office, I realized we needed a space. That's when we found Inks. Inks was obviously a massive part of Fisheye's first days because it gave us a space to grow in. At the time, we got 2 desks. There was meeting rooms, everything else that went with it. A really good creative vibe that felt like you were a part of something bigger, which is really nice when you're stuck in your bedroom and you're in front of your computer screen. It's nice to be able to find a space where you can sort of bounce off other creatives, but also look professional in front of clients. As the business grew, I naturally transitioned from practitioner to business owner, and that meant working on the business a little bit more, not being able to be everywhere at all times. So I guess to solve that problem, I created the Fisheye look. Fisheye look is basically a combination of a particular style of shooting, interviewing, editing, color grading, music selection, something that you look at and instantly recognize. One of the biggest brand building exercises I think we ever did in terms of investment was I hired someone 5 days a week to purely focus on a vlog. Follow us around, basically behind the scenes, what we were doing, what we were shooting at the time, and we had a YouTube channel. We'd be creating cut downs for social media, and I think the brand awareness around Fisheye is this, it is an agency that's starting to grow. It's got people behind it. That was a really big brand building exercise for us. I think naturally that culture of fun and excitement and always coming up with new ideas reflected externally in the content we created. And then naturally our brand started to build around that. So you've got this group of creative people that enjoy what they do and are coming up with fresh ideas all the time. Then you sort of see that in the content we start putting out, and then we just grabbed onto that brand and started to develop a brand around that. So at the time we were producing 80% real estate video content. I really wanted to step into the corporate SME space. I felt like we could have definitely more of an impact in that space, in those industries. I've always been really interested in marketing, and around that time I started to develop a particular interest in digital marketing. I wanted to create a video marketing agency where clients could come, sit down with a team, identify what are the business goals, what clients are they trying to attract, how can we refine the messaging within the content to deliver a better result. A lot of people see video as just an add-on. I see it as the main event. It's the greatest form of communication. I felt like there needed to be a specialist in the area that could support it holistically. Enter Fisheye 2.0. As Fisheye 2.0 developed, so did our processes. When a client came to meet with us, we wanted to make sure we understood their business properly. So we started doing client discovery sessions, we started doing goal setting sessions, buyer persona mapping, everything that could help us refine the messaging of their content. If we nailed those items, then the content was going to be more effective. It wasn't just about flashy, cool looking video content anymore. It was about content that connected at a deeper level. With the corporate side of things, I didn't just want the content to look and feel fresh. I wanted the messaging to be refined. So it felt modern, but it also had a sophistication to it. People don't want to pick up their phone and to be sold to, so part of changing the way corporate content was produced was changing our interview style, making it feel like a conversation, not just a scripted piece to camera, because the customer can pick up on that. If there's an interview happening behind the camera that feels like a conversation and that person feels very comfortable, then the piece overall just feels different and it resonates differently. It was super exciting to finally be working with these bigger organizations, being taken seriously, not just being seen as this young team that were creating cool, flashy content, but being treated like an agency that you could really take some serious messaging to and know that you're going to be looked after. So yeah, it was a really exciting time for myself personally, but Fisheye as a whole. The Fisheye 3.0 era was definitely, still is, a period of growth. Major things that marked that timeline were our new branding around your makers and marketers. We're the people you can come to make your content, get really creative, but we're also there to strategize with your brand. Look at your business, look at how can this content perform more effectively. I really wanted to make sure that there wasn't this distinct line between creative and strategist. I wanted people to be able to come to a place and be able to get both. Another massive milestone for the business, but me personally, was opening the Fishbowl, our headquarters in Wickham. The moment that sign went up, it was kind of like a signal to the rest of Newcastle, hey, we're here to stay. We're an established agency. We are working with really cool businesses, really cool corporates, organizations, brands. There's just something I think about a brick and mortar location, particularly in Newcastle, that people just take you a little bit more seriously. Part of that, having our own space, was so good for culture. Like, people felt this sense of excitement. Our team felt like they had a place to belong, like a home outside of home, but also like they're part of something cool and exciting, that they're part of this thing that's evolving and growing there in those early stages. A big part of the makers and marketers concept was saving our clients time and money. We didn't want clients to have to go to bring in a third party just to instruct the creators what they need to do. We want our clients to be able to come directly to us and say, we don't have a formulated idea yet. We just know what we want to achieve. Here's our objectives, here are our clients. You guys come up with a strategy and then go create the content. Having people in-house that were trained to be fisheye, that we all sat around together and we worked on the idea from 8 a.m. in the morning to 5 p.m. in the afternoon, that was really important, because the quality is reflected in that, the consistency. These people who are working at Fisheye have been trained up for years. We're constantly growing, we're not jumping between different contractors and you're always getting this varied result. It's like the people in-house are the specialists, they do this all the time, every day of the week. That was a really important part of the Fisheye brand. After 7 years, Fisheye's produced over 3,000 videos for 300 clients. That's across every possible industry and space we could possibly think of. Not only have we had a lot of experience in that time telling stories and coming up with strategy behind content, digital content, but we've also gotten to know the landscape really well. When clients come to us, we know what they need. We know the city, we know how to market to the people here. We feel like that really has given us a competitive edge. We took on a few new services. That was including digital marketing, so it was running ad campaigns across Meta for our clients. It was launching our sister company, Curator, which focused on social media management. It was becoming this like holistic, digital, how can we communicate better agency. And part of that has been seeing our clients grow alongside us, which is really exciting, seeing small businesses, big corporate, like grow over time and know that we've had an impact on those businesses. Some people we've worked with for years now, and we've seen them grow, we've grown alongside them. It's super rewarding, and it's probably the part that honestly means the most. Yeah, I mean, looking back, Fisheye today, where we've gotten is due to our people and the creativity and passion and just good energy behind everyone who's worked at Fisheye. There wasn't really a blueprint per se, it was just grow and help more businesses and let's make video content more accessible and more utilised by people of Newcastle. I think after 7 years in Newcastle, there's obviously always room for growth, but I'm content with what we've achieved in our home city, in our hometown, and I don't think I'd be a business owner if I didn't naturally want to go do it all again. So if you ask me what's next, I'd say Sydney is definitely our next destination.